Bionicle. I love them, you love them, my wallet hates them. So, if I only had to pick one, it would be Krika.
Krika
Has one of my favourite Bionicle designs. It's so simple but so effective, and yet far too clean for the environment he is depicted in, so I decided to change that. With quality research into swampy environments, I had everything I needed to bring my vision to reality. Well, except for Krika. To find Krika in the wild, check the swampiest part of your garden.
I think 4 legs are better than 2.
You'll likely find him there. I think the design is pretty solid. The only change I would personally make would be to rotate the axle connector onto its side to have a flush fit with the back legs.
Earthquake. Yep, we're having an earthquake.
Unfortunately though, this cannot be replicated for the front legs, but it doesn't bother me too much. I want to have his eyes light up, and these red 5mm diodes look almost identical. With some persuasion, they fit in quite well. Anyway, it's prime time. Hang on. It was actually Amazon Prime time to get some more primer. With the pieces primed, I started on the painting. I changed Krika's white body parts to a metallic chrome to accentuate the biomechanicalness of the character, and selected which parts made the most sense to be red, keeping in spirit to the original design. If you're interested in what paints I used, I have this black one for the black. I used this chrome stuff for the chrome. As for the red, I used this delicious pakora sauce. Off camera, I clear primed the, what's it called? The Ghost Blaster?
Something we're making for the
Makuta
it's called a
Ghost
blaster.
I went for a ghostly ethereal green hue. Time for full assembly. Now that Krika is nice and pristine, time to get messy. I used part of a sponge instead of a brush for a more natural looking mud splatter effect. I believe that less is more in this part, only really targeting areas that will likely build up the most amount of swamp gunk. Then a little metallic dry brushing to really bring out those hidden details and highlight the edges. For additional details, I have this fine green flocking to represent moss, as well as the stretchy fabric stuff for variety. I'm mixing up a cocktail of Mod Podge and the flocking. This will help apply it to the model in a controlled way. I do think I may have used more glue than that was necessary though, so I garnished the gunk splodges with more flocking. Lastly for Krika was his glowing eyes. I checked the lights were working and soldered the cables to the diodes, and fed the wires through the model in a way that looked natural. I was happy with how the model was looking, so I moved on to the base. I used foam for the base. It's easy enough to work with and does the job. I had a rough idea how I wanted the scene to look and sketched out what I thought looked best at the time. Once I was happy with the design, I started to cut into the terrain to form the body of liquid Krika would stand in. But before that, I was thirsty for another cocktail, which consisted of dirt, PVA glue and paint. It was a bit too thick and brown for my liking, so I added more glue and green paint until I got the consistency I was looking for. I lathered the gunk onto the entire base, sides included, just out of curiosity to see how it would look. I think it turned out okay. I marked where the cables from the model would exit through the base and made a couple of holes for them through the foam. I then added some more paint in the dark areas and for added depth. I think my workspace could do with some foliage. Oh wait, no, I just want to pull them all apart. The stalks of these plants look quite interesting, so I'll maybe keep these for a future project. I plotted where I wanted to have all the foliage and then prepped the base for static grass. Once I eventually found where I originally wanted the foliage through the grass, I superglued everything into its forever position, and hot glued Krika into place as well. I wanted to add some vines coming out of the swamp to wrap around Krika. To do this, I cinched some rope to burn away the stray frays. Also, fire is hot. Please don't flame your digits.
Oh, that looked painful, Gromit.
This is by no means a tutorial. There are things I likely could have done better with hindsight, or things I could have done to save time, but I'd like to show that things don't have to be perfect to get the result you want. If it feels right, give it a shot. If it doesn't work out, learn from your mistakes. Just make sure to protect yourself around dangerous equipment and hazardous lawn killers. Speaking of hazardous lawn killers, it was time to make some swamp juice using epoxy resin. I'd never used epoxy resin before, so I was concerned that I could potentially ruin the project here. I mixed together the epoxy and hardener and added some brown and green paint to muddy the water. It was not perfect by any means, however I will give myself credit for not being bad for a first attempt. I did not make nearly enough in the first batch, so I had to make another. I took some more foliage and cut them into small lily pads to rest on the surface as the resin cured. The final thing to do was to solder the cables to a battery housing, and that would be the project complete. All there is to do now is jump on into some swampy beauty shots. If you've made it this far into the video, it means an absolute ton to me. And if you like what I do and would love to see more, please like and subscribe and let me know what you'd like to see in the future down below. I'd love to hear your suggestions. All that's left from me is a big thank you and see you soon.